All right, so I don't know if you guys can hear this, but the Red Hot Chili Peppers is being played right now in the gym. Nolan Stewart's playing it. Brasileiros, and world silver medalist at black belt at super heavy. And he's playing Red Hot Chili Peppers. And this is completely off topic of what we're going to talk about today, but I think the Red Hot Chili Peppers should get the same amount of hate that Nickelback has gotten, especially their modern stuff, but it's not very good. Their stuff in the 90s was great, and then it started getting really bad. And I think Nickelback has a disproportionate amount of hate for the amount of actual bangers they've put out. Maybe I am biased because I'm a father now, and I think that dad rock and divorced dad rock like Creed, Nickelback, those types of bands are freaking awesome now. And I think, ironically, we did like them. We just weren't allowed to like them. And I think Red Hot Chili Peppers should get more hate. On that note, welcome back to another episode of the Pain, Performance, and Plot Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Nick Smith. I'm a licensed physical therapist and strength and conditioning coach for jiu-jitsu and other combat athletes. I am going to ruffle some feathers today because there's been a topic of discussion that's been having some tug of war with even my own clients, my own athletes, and just talking with athletes in general. And it's really mostly around navigating injuries. And I would like to preface this talk before I ruffle feathers and understand that there is special nuance to everybody's story. And I understand that a lot of people have been wronged by the healthcare profession. That's why I'm doing what I do. But a lot of people's issues are themselves getting in their own way and being unwilling to change their own personality, change their own habits. And what I really want to dig into is how athletes who are hurt and been hurt for long periods of time have this expectation that there's going to be this sudden change in just their rehab when all of a sudden they start doing the right thing. They finally make that turn. They're like, hey, I have a problem. I need to actually get some real help. And they expect that by doing the right things for a week, 2 weeks, that everything's just going to be solved. And that's not the case. If you've been treating your body like an amusement park for, and I mean this, years, because there are people that I've talked to who have had pain, injuries on and off consistently for years. It is very unrealistic to expect your body to just all of a sudden be up and being like, hell yeah, everything's fixed in 2 weeks. You don't lose 10 pounds or you don't lose a ton of weight by, dieting for a day, and you don't get fat for having one bad cheat meal. Same thing goes with rehab. There are a lot of times where maybe one movement, one series of changes elicits a very large response. And that's always what I'm going for in my first evaluation when I start, interceding with somebody's rehab program. I give them something that is the biggest bang for their buck. What I tell people, imagine you have a pizza or you have a pie. I want to give you the biggest slice that's going to yield you the biggest results right now. Giving you some nonsense that's going to be only a small piece of the puzzle, which might give you some benefit, but not the largest benefit, is completely useless. And that's what you're going to see a lot of times on social media. People are like, oh, bro, you need to do cupping. You need to do scraping. You need to do acupuncture. You need to do PPC 1.5, whatever, BS. Those things are giving you small slices of the pizza. You want to eat the whole damn thing. I'm going to give you the biggest slice. And with that, there might be some big changes, right? That's the whole point. That's what I try to do. It's my, so to say, buy-in, right? I show you something, it creates a change, that feels better. Great. If we take this same system, extrapolate it over time, scale it, load it, all those things, you're going to feel better. We can make this work. But there are still people who expect a different result with no change. I've heard something, many different things, but I hear something like, oh, well, physical therapy didn't work for me. Well, okay, fair. And then I hear they're like, okay, well, I'm only putting in, 5 minutes of work a day to overcome this rehab. Okay, well, what is that going to do? Like, great, 5 minutes is better than nothing. But do you think 5 minutes a day of jiu-jitsu is going to make you better soon? Or do you think it's going to make you better like way later? Or they're like, oh, well, they can't, I'm too busy to, communicate, or whatever the excuse is. And there's a series of excuses that have kept people from really like achieving the goal that they want. I've said it in previous podcasts. I'll say it again. Your actions need to reflect your goals. Straight up. I can't say it any more clear than that. If you want to be a pain-free athlete and truly focus on your longevity, get stronger, make your pain go away, make sure that every damn decision that you possibly can is directed with that in mind. Everything else is noise. Unless you are truly focusing on the things that are reaching you towards that goal that you say that you want. If you want to have no more knee pain, you should be making decisions. Anything that's physical activity based should be directed around making sure that your knee is doing all the things you can. That does not mean do all this necessary nonsense that you think is the right. If you need to make sure that your knee bends enough, bend your knee more, do more mobility exercises. If it's a strength issue, you need to focus on strength. If it's, hey, I'm underprepared for jiu-jitsu and I still continue to go into the gym and spar at 100%, even though I know I'm going to be fucked up for the next 2 weeks, maybe you shouldn't do that either. Maybe you should regress the intensity of which that you train so you can get to a level where you can actually make progression instead of just resting, jumping back too early, jacking yourself up, and repeating the cycle over and over again for not just 6 months now, but a year, 2 years. Okay, I'm off my high horse now. You have to make change. The old way has not served you. If you've been doing the same thing, the same song and dance for multiple years or even months and you're not seeing a change, something's broken in your system and you have to figure out what that thing is. My job as your coach is to figure out what that problem is. Sometimes it lies deeper than just the actions. Sometimes it's a mental barrier. Maybe you don't actually want to get better and you've wrapped up your identity inside this injury and you like the attention that it gives you. I've had that conversation with somebody before and that's okay. But we need to disassociate some of these things and dig it down to the real deep root of the problem, having really hard conversations and figure out why it is that you don't want, or why is it that your actions don't reflect what your goals are. It starts with you. Sometimes people think they're putting in a lot of effort, and the reality is they're not actually putting in that much effort. If you truly track the amount of minutes, hours, minutes a day, hours a week that you're putting into actually improving your outcomes in terms of, rehab, you'd be surprised how very little you're actually doing. And that's where somebody like a coach can kind of check you and really like track the stuff. You have some data, some objective measurements to be like, oh, well, my knee mobility is not getting better. Okay, well, how many minutes a day are you working on mobility? Oh, 5. All right, well, 5 isn't enough, so let's ramp it up. Figure out what the problem is. Where can we jump in more to get, 10 more minutes in and see how that yields results? When we were working on this stuff before, it was improving. We got to put the time in. You got to put the time in if you want to get the results. This is a short one today. I don't really have much more to say around it, but if you're somebody who's been dealing with this for a long period of time, there's clearly something broken in your system and it's time to go get some help. Find somebody. If you need to talk to me, I would love to be able to help you out, point you in the right direction. It might be me, might be a colleague of mine, but you need to make that change and you have to be truly open and willing to make change. Don't wait until rock bottom. Some of you love to do that. If you're noticing a trend, if something is not truly getting better after even 2-3 weeks, it's time. It would have gotten better by now. It's time to make some change. It's time to get some help and figure out what's going on. Don't wait too long. The longer you wait, the harder it is. It is astronomically harder if you wait longer. The more time that you waste, it's more time that you're not able to train the way that you want to. It's more time getting away from being able to be pain-free. It's more time from just being able to enjoy life the way that you should. Address it now. Don't put it off any longer. It's worth it to get it done now, because if you address it early, the likelihood of it being quick and over with is much higher than if you deal with this with months or years. And if you have been dealing it for months or years, don't wait any longer. Don't wait another day. Get some help. Figure out what the root of the problem is and have a solution starting today so we can get you on the path towards being able to train. Till then, remember, pain is not something you should fear, just something you should respect. Until next time, this is the way. See you.